for All by John Hope Bryant. We're gonna start where we left off at page 19. And that's why I say to this day, Operation Hope, the organization I founded to advance financial freedom. There's a difference between being broke and being poor. Being broke is a temporary economic condition, but being poor is a disabling frame of mind and a depressed condition of the spirit. And we must vow to never, ever be poor again. No matter my financial status, I was never poor. And for that, I thank my parents, the start of my entrepreneurship journey. By my ninth birthday, I had seen and heard enough for 2 lifetimes. I wanted desperately to find a better solution for success or even for managing one's own basic life for me and those around me in the community. I wondered, what did hope with a sustainable business plan look like? As I looked around, nothing became obvious. Then the banker visited my home economics class at Colin P. Kelly Elementary School and changed my entire life. My wife, Sheetra Bryant, says that all human behavior is learned, both good and bad. And the more I think about this statement, the more I agree. This one topic could be a book all by itself. The reality is that I could track all of that backward behavior in my growing up neighborhood back to someone who they learned it from. When you know better, you do better. The problem is, we never knew better. Said another way, no matter how much I love you, my son or my daughter, if I don't have wisdom, then I can only pass down my own ignorance out of love. We pass down bad habits from generation to generation out of love. In 1975, when I was 9 years old, a banker from Bank of America came into my elementary school classroom to teach financial literacy, or what I like to call the language of money. Unrelated, Bank of America will go on to become one of the biggest bankers and partners of Operation Hope. It was a precursor of what was to come in 1977, the first year of the Federal Community Reinvestment Act, which outlined and stimulated investment, lending, and service in underserved communities nationwide by FDIC issued banks. This volunteer banker, who came in once a week for about 6 weeks, didn't fit any profile or public image that I had back then for a white man in my neighborhood. The white banker was about 6'2" and wore a fine blue suit with a white linen dress shirt and a red tie. This was a good suit, not the drab affairs that the white police detectives wore when they came through the neighborhood where I grew up. This white banker also had a business card that identified his place of work on the 16th floor of a building. That didn't make any sense to me either, as the only multi-level building in Compton was the Compton Courthouse, and what had less than 10 floors. This card said the 16th floor. Where in the heck was a building like that? I asked myself. It might as well have been on another planet from the standpoint and perspective of a little black kid from an elementary school in Compton, California. This white dude also showed up at school, consistently right in the middle of our school day, and he seemed to stay as long as you please. My mother, my role model for work experience, worked an hourly job with a lunch break and two scheduled 15-minute breaks before and after. The only way my mother would show up in the middle of the day was if I was in trouble with the school principal. This guy just showed up as if it was for his own. It's as if I was his own. Rather casually controlled decision. I would later have explained to me by him that he was on salary and would come and go as you please as an executive for the company. As a what? I asked myself. Everything about this banker represented deep power to me. It was something I had never witnessed before in my life, and I yearned it to understand it. So this new relationship of first with the white man had begun. This was the beginning of my out of comfort zone training in creating relationship capital, which is now a central part of my everyday life. It should be a part of yours too. It's worth mentioning that almost every contact that my neighborhood friends ever had with a white man back then was a negative one. Usually the police officer, assuming the worst of whomsoever they met from the hood, getting slammed against a police cruiser by a white police officer was an all too common experience. As a young person growing up in a place like Compton, things like this predispose individuals and communities to retreat from any further engagement from people who don't look like they do. Fortunately for me, my childhood experience with white people in my neighborhood was totally different. There was a white principal at elementary school. There were some white teachers, mostly women, who kindly and lovingly even agreed to purchase whatever it was I was selling that week or month through my series of mail order catalog. Business think Stacey Adams shoes in various multi-level marketing schemes. Thank y'all for your time. We're gonna stop at page 22. So today or tomorrow, that's what we're gonna start at. Make sure y'all like, follow, share, subscribe, all that. Thank y'all for your time. Enjoy y'all Sunday. Keep thriving. The best is here. Be global.